They're tiny, they're toony. Today's Furry Girl Profile follow-up episode brings us back into 1990s Tiny Toon adventures. Our group of one appearance girls was featured in segment Loon Lake for Music Day, which was a part of episode 92 during season 3, a rather late episode towards the end of the show's original run. Tiny Toon's resident psychic, Shirley DeLune, was the featured character for this segment, where she was attending a ballerina class made up of mainly female swans. Only one out of the 4 had a name mentioned on screen, and that was Giselle, the swan with her hair brushed back. And whatever positivity and respect Shirley had for her fellow classmates wasn't shared equally by the swans. It was one day before the big dance recital. After the excited and enthusiastic Shirley changed her clothes and left the room, the girls began laughing at her and tearing into her from behind her back.
Who does that ugly little mud hen think she is, associating with us swans? Personally, I don't think she's fit to dance on the same stage with us.
Shirley, who had left her shoes, overheard everything at the door. And that worked just fine for them, because then maybe the mud hen wouldn't show her face tomorrow as they left the room and bumped into her on the way out. Babs, one of her best friends, was waiting for her out front, and when asked why she suddenly wanted to give up dancing, Shirley was then brought to tears telling her what happened. The words of the swans cut deep, but Babs was a better friend, and she wasn't about to let Shirley give up on dancing, which she was very passionate about. The following night, Shirley showed up with Babs right behind, who reminded her that she was a much better person than her classmates. Giselle couldn't believe she still showed up, but still wasn't done taking last-minute jabs at her.
Well, the little mud hen showed up.
Like, flush those negatory vibes, Giselle. We have to work together to get through this recital, okay?
But she was far from done being a snob as she tripped up Shirley out of spite. The swans wanted to get through the show too, but they were too obsessed with doing it without her. Shirley wasn't big on revenge. Babs, on the other hand, loved getting payback on people, so she decided to help keep the swans off her back during the performance. When the show started, it started off oddly smooth, just before Babs made her way above the stage with a bag full of goodies. Eventually, as predicted, the swans started scheming to make Shirley look bad, but when she managed to catch herself after almost being tripped up, Giselle became furious. It was soon after, Babs began feeding the swans a taste of their own medicine, when she dropped a banana peel onto the stage, slipping one of them up and sending her crashing into the others. Even after recovering and getting sandbagged from above, they were still completely unaware of the rabbit causing trouble as they fixatedly chased a small loon all over the stage. The irony is that they were managing to make themselves look bad instead, while Shirley kept the dancing going as she tried her best to avoid them while still looking great in the process. The swans, however, were a determined bunch. As Shirley spun around the stage, she could see in their eyes that they had nothing but bad intentions planned for her. Babs, having a blast returning fire on the swans for her, made her way to the bottom of the stage and used the chainsaw to cut the floor out from beneath them. Shirley was soon left the only one standing by the end of the performance, when Babs came out onto the stage to deliver the flowers to her in front of a cheering audience. One tried to climb back on stage, but was then clobbered with the show curtain that said the end for the segment. Today's Furry Girl profile takes us to the world of Family Guy. We focus on the family dog, Brian, arguably the second biggest skirt chaser in the series next to Quagmire. For a dog, Brian has racked up a large list of girlfriends, most of which were all human women. The 16th season became the first time we would see him romantically involved with another female dog since Seabreeze Pewtersmith in Boy Dog Meets Girl Dog. It was Valentine's Day in Quahog and everyone apparently had somebody to share it with, or at least some type of plans, excluding Brian. So being the alcoholic that he is, tried to drink his pain away before he dove into a box of chocolates only to realize the mistake he made moments later. Brian is taken to the Quahog veterinary clinic to have his stomach pumped. That's where he meets a lady dog named Ellie, who was in the clinic to have a cut bandage because she wouldn't stop chewing her foot. She was voice played by Amanda Seyfried. The two hit it off instantly the moment they met, so much so Ellie gave Brian her number on her collar to chat with him later.
See you around, Brian.
The two would later have their first date at the Quahog Art Museum, where we learned she was very much a genuine fan of seeing the works of art. Brian wanted to make it seem like he knew more than what he was putting on, but she was a very easygoing girl who he didn't have to fake it to make it with. The date, however, is soon cut short when we learned she was actually a show dog and had an audition starting soon.
Man, she is something else.
Eventually, they would have yet another successful date. After dinner, Brian attempted to go for the kiss, but was met with rejection from Ellie. It turned out her life as a show dog was much more complicated. Her owners paid a lot of money for her to breed with whatever male won their dog competition. No matter who won, she had to have sex with that male. Suddenly, the same character who protested dog competitions so many seasons ago because he felt they were degrading, dashed home looking for Stewie because he wanted to train and win first place. Brian would speak with Ellie one more time at the registration before the games got started, cracking jokes and ensuring her that he was ready, even though most of the other dogs were trained their whole lives. At the entrance, he gets bumped into by this rather large dog named Max, a 4-time champion and fan favorite to win the competition, making him the biggest threat out of everyone else. To no surprise, it would be him on top of the leaderboard. Brian started out far behind, but as things went further, he started slowly catching up, while Max's missteps began hurting his chances. In the female division, Ellie was crowned the winner. For the males, the trophy went to none other than Brian, who never got a warning before he was almost immediately strung up by his neck and taken to the back room. There wasn't going to be any bumping Ellie with any privacy, something she was fully aware of, but Brian was caught completely off guard. Not only did the lab coats have to watch, but Quagmire being there only added insult to injury. When Brian wasn't able to get an erection under the current conditions, they brought Max the boxer in to do the job instead. We as the viewers didn't have to look at Brian from Ellie's perspective, as the boxer dog fucked her from behind right in front of him, showing us once again he's not allowed to have a happy ending no matter what, even when he did nothing wrong. It's hard to believe this is the same dog who once ran out onto a racetrack and sexually assaulted another dog right in front of a large crowd, but somehow couldn't get it up here. But if it doesn't add up, welcome to the world of Family Guy. The relationship came to an end, but Ellie still promised to name one of the pups after him, praying that's not the one Max eats. After Brian's exit, Ellie hasn't been seen on screen since. Once again, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Furry Girl Profiles. Please be sure to leave a like, comment back, and subscribe for future content. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.
There's something wacky at MacDonald's.
Big Mac.
The Tiny Toon Adventures Gang.
It's Babs and Buster Bunny. And Persian.
Fries.
Ooh, Bunny.
A Diet Coke and
100 Happy Meals.
100 Happy Meals.
When's lunch?
I mean, one Happy Meal.
Now buy your kid a Happy Meal at McDonald's and get a Tiny Toon flip car. 2 cars in one, a different one each week. Collect all 4, get all 8.
100 Happy Meals, sir.
Now what?
Better pop the trunk.
Hey, Mr. Lemon. Take it easy. Don't you know if you find my picture in your Cadbury's caramel wrapper, you'll win one of 1,000 amazing compact Nikon cameras. Take it easy with new smoother Cadbury's caramel.
I told the subscribers at the end of July that I wanted to play a game of Fuck, Marry, Kill with some of our beloved Afro girls we enjoy so much here on Playfur Cinema. So I told them all to give me 20, and I picked 15 from a bunch to feature in today's video. Let's get started, shall we? Up first on the board, we have Sally Acorn, Bunny Rabbit, and Nicole, the Hollow Lynx. The hollow part is gonna make this easy. Nicole is a computer. From a realistic point of view, you can't fuck her, and me marrying her would be the same as me marrying my laptop. As for Bunny and Sally, I would marry Sally and fuck Bunny. Or fuck Sally and marry Bunny. Either way, I don't care. But I'm killing Nicole. Can you even do that? For round 2, we have some Sabrina Online for After Dark women. We got the sexy MILF Helen, the chubby but lovely Tina Lynx, and the dominant and large-breasted Raven Hunt. I don't usually aim for the woman with the kid, but I would marry Helen if I had to commit to someone on this board. She already married a D-bag once for the sake of her kid. She's also sweet-natured, but thanks to Zigzag, she's got a freak nasty side too. Tina is usually not high on my favorites list, but once those glasses come off, she's gorgeous as fuck. So I wouldn't mind choosing her for a one-night stand. As for Raven, I don't hate her, but she doesn't appeal to me much. She looks like she would break me in half if I failed to perform to her level of expectations. So, marry Helen, fuck Tina, kill Raven. Next up, we got Wave, Sonya, and Storm. This will be a little easier. Fuck Sonya, marry Wave, put a bullet between the eyes of conquering Storm. Now to be honest, I got a strong love for Sonya too, so it doesn't matter too much if Sonya and Wave switched. Alright, let's get one of these Lola boys out of the way. I got a few choices with her in them. Lola Bunny, Collie Briggs, and another pick from Sabrina Online, Amy the Squirrel. I should have told people to be more specific about what incarnations I was to use. I just assumed people want me to use Space Jam Lola. But with Amy, I should have asked if this was her before the child or her with the child she has with Thomas. I'm more of a fan of the early topless version, who used to be more playful and mischievous. Either way, if I had to choose, I would kill her instead. Now, I bet everybody is waiting for me to say marry Lola. Actually, I'm gonna fuck her and marry Collie Briggs. Collie is much too good to be a simple one-night stand. The next one is a fairly random pairing between Roxanne, Brittany, and Judy Hopps. Based on past events, I just know some folks are gonna get upset with me, but I choose to marry my favorite teenage bombshell, Roxanne. And I'm gonna choose to fuck Brittany. So sadly, Judy is getting iced. But Brittany is a spoiled bitch! Sounds hot. I like my spoiled bitch. Her voice is so annoying. You hear annoying? I hear best pre-orgasm voice. Image a singing chipmunk hitting all those high notes as you thrust those peach-colored ass cheeks. It's awesome. Anywho, nothing wrong with Judy, it's just, in this case, she's not my priority.
I'm sorry, little one.
This time we got Nicole Waterson, Terrell from Undertale, and Rouge the Bat. Another one that's not too complicated for me to answer. I like Nicole just enough to fuck her. I'm not marrying her because then I'll have to be a part of her crazy ass family. As for the other two, I will marry Rouge and kill Goat Mom. The last board I chose to keep Brittany and kill Judy. Does this choice surprise anyone? Rouge is more of my interest because I'm a glutton for punishment. This next one might be a little more surprising, however. Tana Berry and Minerva. Now it's a toss-up between who I would fuck between Minerva and Tana. Two ladies who look pretty damn good. In fact, all three ladies on this board pride themselves in their looks. The only one on this list who's bad for a loving marriage, however, is Minerva, who would make a great trophy wife. Typically, you wouldn't marry a woman like her unless it's for her looks. Say what you want about Rouge, but at least she works for the government. I will, however, choose to marry Berry. Remember, she actually tried to be a good girlfriend to Conquer. It was Conquer who was a poor boyfriend to her. Not to mention, she's already dead, so I don't think I need to kill her again. So back to Minerva and Tana, I'd fuck Tana and kill Minerva, but not by much. For number 8, Lola, Sally, and Rouge. I'll save us some time. Fuck Lola, marry Sally, and kill Rouge. Lola is a close call for marriage, but Sally's a bit better overall. We got another one with Nicole in it. We also got Kitty Katswell this time, and yet another girl from Eric Schwartz, Clarice the Cat. For Nicole, I gave my stance on her already not long ago. I like her just enough to bang her, but I wouldn't wish to marry her. Now Kitty is a pretty fine looking feline, but she's a secret agent, so I don't know if that's a good job for a good healthy marriage. Clarice, on the other hand, is the perfect choice if you don't want baggage. She's a very loyal woman who just wants to spend all her time with her boyfriend. Plus, she ain't bad looking either. So, I would fuck Kitty, marry Clarice, and kill Nicole this round. Yet another one with Sabrina online for After Dark ladies. This is the last one of the bunch, however. This time we got 3 different faces: Sheila Vixen, Zigzag, and Carly. Now since these are all for After Dark girls, they are all total sex freaks. But only 2 of them are porn stars, and that's Zigzag and Sheila Vixen. Carly is the silly chatterbox whose mouth her husband has to sometimes duct tape. Sheila, and especially Zigzag, are the 2 you have to come to terms with, because porn star and marriage don't mix. But this is just for kicks, so it ain't that serious. Sheila comes off as a bit of an airhead sometimes, but that's the part that makes it seem like she would be a blast to live with. Carly can be a ball too, but Zigzag is the best girl on the board to fuck by default. So I'm banging Zigzag, marrying Sheila, and killing Carly. If this was your first time here on Playfur Cinema, just by this video alone, you can get an idea of who's the popular girls on this channel. Kitty Katswell and Brittany are back, in a first time appearance for Vanilla. First things first, I choose to fuck Brittany, and don't get me started on the reasoning again. I did say Kitty might not be the best for marriage, but at the time I thought Clarice was a nice mixture to consider best overall wife. I'd rather marry Kitty this time and sadly kill Vanilla. Yeah, I know, it's kinda ironic. She's a pleasant and really attractive character, but not enough energy for my taste. This time I got Peg Pete, Sawyer from Cats Don't Dance, and Rouge the Bat. I'll get to the point on this one. Fuck Rouge, marry Sawyer, and kill Peg. I know, I'm killing the MILFs. I got deep-rooted issues! Ah! Why do you think I made this channel? Bunny Rabbit, Carly Briggs, and Tana have all returned. Once again, I should have told people to tell me which incarnations I was using. That's in the case of Bunny. Sonic's SatAM designs are not as shapely as their comic versions. SatAM Bunny is cute and all, but Tana and Carly overpower her in physical beauty. Though when it came to Lola, Sally, and Rouge, I didn't have much of an issue throwing Rouge in front of the bus, regardless of which design Sally was in. If it came down to the reboot design, I likely would marry Bunny, fuck Carly this time around, and kill Tana. But if it boils down to her SatAM look, I'm killing her, fucking Tana, and marrying Carly again. Oh look, it's board number 12, but it's with Minerva instead. Guys, I know you know far more choices than this. I'm fucking Minerva, marrying Rouge, and killing Peg. No wonder she didn't make it into the movies. I killed her twice. Best sheep is on the board. Alright, last one. Lola Bunny, Kitty Katswell, and Lammy. Now I got a harder choice to make. Sigh. Sometimes the hardest choices require the hardest dick. Don't you pretend that didn't make any sense. This time I choose to marry Lola, though I feel tugged by Lammy. She doesn't really make you want to screw her, but you ain't just gonna want to throw her away either. So I'm banging the sheep and killing Kitty this time. Kitty will be alright. She had 9 lives during her series. That's what made the choice easier. So anyway, it looks like I'm done here. Thank you all for tuning in. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment back. Also, remember to ring that notification bell as well. I know it's a lot, but thanks for doing it. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.
Hey! You forgot the milk.
That's lactate.
Right. 100% real milk, just without the lactose. So you can drink all you want.
With no discomfort?
Exactly. Here, try some.
It is real milk.
See? Delicious. Hoof bump. Oh, right here, girl. Boom. Lactate, 100% real milk, no discomfort. And for a tasty snack that's 100% real dairy, try Lactate cottage cheese.
The defending champ, Coco the Monkey, versus the challenger, Warts Breath O Thunder. The winner takes home the Coco Pops World Cup. Oh, that's gotta hurt.
Cocoa Pops, so chocolatey.
Get it, kid.
In a come-from-behind victory, Coco!
Tastes just like a chocolate milkshake, only crunchy.
Today's Furry Girl profile brings us back to Disney's 1973 Robin Hood.
We folks of the animal kingdom have our own version. It's the story of what really happened in Sherwood Forest.
Disney took the legendary thief of Sherwood Forest that stole from the rich and gave to the poor, and turned him and the rest of the cast into anthropomorphic animals. Eons ago, when we first visited the story, we took a look at the love interest, Maid Marian. On this episode, we take a look at one of its more smaller cast members.
Oh, he's so handsome. Just like his reward posters.
The white rabbit we know as Sis was voiced by Dana Lorita, but was uncredited in the film. Just like many Disney characters, she had the privilege of making cameos outside of her regular spot. And one place you can spot her easily was at the Christmas party in Mickey's Christmas Carol, but with an overall different color scheme to her outfit and fur. Sis was the oldest sister out of a large rabbit family, two of which that were a main focus, the youngest sister Tagalong, and a slightly more primary character by the name of Skippy. And all of them were kids to Mother Rabbit. We first meet Sis at her home during the birthday party of Skippy, where the sheriff of Nottingham soon barged in and took his only birthday present. And it probably would have continued to be a dreary day onward, had it not been paid a special visit from Robin Hood himself, where it soon appeared that Sis may have held a schoolgirl's crush on him. Now while she was a kind rabbit, she wasn't above being bossy or teasing her little brother Skippy.
The hat's too big.
Shh, mind your manners.
Yes, monumentals.
By the next scene, Sis, Tagalong, and now Toby were following behind Skippy to play with his new bow and arrow Robin gave him. Sis tells him that he's aiming the arrow too high, but he doesn't listen and launches it into the backyard of Prince John. But instead of calling it quits, he decides to go get his arrow back. Knowing they could risk getting in trouble, the bunny siblings make Toby take an oath not to tattletale.
Spider, snakes, and a lizard head. Spider, snakes, and a lizard's head. If I tattletale, I'll die till I'm dead.
But sneaking in was mission failure right from the very beginning. Lucky for Skippy, the one that caught him was sweethearted Maid Marian. And soon after, the jig is up for Sis and the other two as well. When Skippy couldn't get them to come in, they eventually came around when Maid Marian insisted on meeting them. Almost naturally, Sis was interested in Maid Marian's love life with Robin Hood.
Are you gonna marry Robin Hood?
The question eventually brought on a playful game of pretend, where Skippy was now Robin Hood. And as Robin Hood, the proper thing to do would be to kiss Maid Marian. And when he wouldn't do it, she did it for him, which brought on teasing and laughter from Sis and the other children. The only one not laughing was Skippy. Because she was only a minor supporting character, after the meeting Maid Marian scene, she no longer had any speaking roles in the film. However, it was good at keeping all of its characters of Nottingham active, whether they were primary or minor. That included Sis, who could be spotted many times out in the crowd at the archery tournament. She is very soon spotted again at the party in Sherwood Forest, laughing and poking fun at Prince John. But for a few giggles, it soon puts her in hot water with everybody else.
Every town has its ups and downs.
When Prince John raises the taxes to the point no one could afford them, along with the rest of her entire family, Sis is put in prison. That was until Robin Hood and Little John came to the rescue, and ends up one of the ones ducking and dodging arrows on her way to safety. With the rest of the prisoners, she ends up out in Sherwood Forest until King Richard returns. In the final scene for Robin Hood and Maid Marian's wedding, both Sis and Tagalong act as flower girls. In Sis's final memorable act, when Maid Marian throws the bouquet, she manages to snatch it from above her furious sister Tagalong. Thank you for tuning in to Furry Girl Profiles Sis. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jailbreaker and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.
Hey, Mr. Beaver. Why are you beavering around? Haven't you heard of Cadbury's Caramel? See, as the thick Cadbury's milk chocolate melts with that dreamy caramel, you just have to take things really easy. Looks like somebody else could do with some. Take it easy with Cadbury's Caramel.
You're cute.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I definitely don't need it. I 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 need it!
It's close to half an hour, and that means it's game match time. I'm thinking Crash Team Rumble. Let's choose a Coco match.
Enemy team boosted. Enemy team boosted. Your team puts Wampa on the board. Enemy team boosted. Aku available. Enemy team boost expired. Your team boosted. Enemy team boosted. Wampa stack ready. Your team boost expired. Enemy Aku. Enemy team boosted. Enemy team boost expired. Enemy team takes lead. Your team pulls ahead. Enemy team boosted. boosted. Aku available. Wampa stash ready. Your team boosted. Enemy team boost expired. It's neck and neck.
McDonald's presents a Happy Meal with the Looney Tunes. They're normal, cartoon characters. But while at McDonald's, they transform into Superbug, Wonder Pig, Taz Flash, and Bat Duck.
And all we did was change our clothes.
And now your kids get one of 4 Looney Tunes toys. Each one comes with its very own Snap-on costume with every $1.99 hamburger Happy Meal you buy. They're proud, brave, and willing to face danger.
Huh? I don't recall that stipulation in the contract.
$1.99 Happy Meal only at McDonald's.
Today's profile leads us into the animated series of the Pink Panther franchise, which revolved around the notoriously silent feline who got his own animated series in 1969. Did you know there was a Lady Pink Panther? And I'm not referring to the witch that got turned into one during Pinkarella. In 1981, the Pink Panther got a Valentine's Day special titled Pink at First Sight. When he first appears on screen, he can be seen moping through the town as he watches all the other couples. Unfortunately, it was Valentine's Day, and our pink friend didn't have anyone to share it with. And as he took a look at the Valentine's Day merchandise in the store window, it was also a reminder that he was broke. Upon taking another look, he soon reimagines the woman in the store as a gorgeous lady, Pink Panther. This is 1981. Who said the internet created gender swaps? Nevertheless, that's just damn depressing. But get used to it, the title of the card is Pink at First Sight, so it happens more than once. As he mopes through the park, he soon comes upon a baby who accidentally drops his teddy bear. And as he picks it up, well, guess what happens again? Teddy almost becomes a plush, courtesy of the Pink Panther. The love fest, however, is soon broken up when a crying baby alerts its parents. He soon retreats and returns back home. It's there he dives into his piggy bank and learns he doesn't have a cent to his name. Okay, I take that back, there was 6 cents to his name. Still absolutely nothing to celebrate over. Soon after, a singing messenger breaks into his house and delivers him a present. It was a woman's dress from some guy named Bill. Pink would then chase the messenger all the way back to his headquarters in order to return the present. But when he does find the messenger, he doesn't get very much of an opportunity. But when the boss mistakes him for one of the auditioners, he takes this opportunity to make some extra cash. Unfortunately, on his first attempt, he fails his audition pretty badly. But he soon returns with a new inspiration for his act, gets hired, and is soon off to his first location, at apartment 1802, just as soon as the man of the house is pulling in. After delivering the Valentine's Day gift, the Pink Panther soon put on his performance, to which you'll probably admit it got a little deep for a singing telegram.
Dancing with you, many afternoon.
You know you've done something either really good or really bad when you can make a woman forget that she's taken. Not only does she get swept up in the moment, but so does he.
Each a jewel we find, like a necklace.
Unfortunately, the party has to end soon when the husband finds out that there's another rooster in the hen house, and the wife knew that if he saw Pink, he was not going to be calm about the situation. After being hidden in a closet, when he got the opportunity, he made a break for it. His next location was a more fancy establishment. The first person to greet him here was the maid, and wouldn't you know it, he visualized her too as his panther woman fantasy. I said get used to it. Nevertheless, after he helped the mansion owner destroy his own prized violin, it was definitely time to leave. Towards the end of the night, he had one more box to deliver, and it was to a crime boss named Big Joe. If there's a card in the box, it must say, "You make me explode with excitement."
Just a sick world we're living in, sick people.
Unfortunately for the Pink Panther, he ended up sharing the same hospital with the same crime mob. While trying to get away, he ducks into a room and tries to pose as a patient by placing a gas mask over his face. The tank turns over and he ends up breathing in the gas. By the time a nurse walked in to check on him, he began to hallucinate. And suddenly that not so attractive nurse ended up looking like the most prettiest thing in the world. Ooh, go back to the nurse. He springs from his bed, escapes through the door, and soon ends up trapped in an alleyway. He only manages to get away by scaring them away with police sound effects. Eventually, he ends up back in the park alone, most likely still with no money and no love to call his own. But of course you know, this didn't stop him from fantasizing about his dream girl yet again, slow dancing with her and holding her in his arms, which seemed to be the only thing that could make him smile throughout his miserable day. But as he sat at the bench, something else strange happened. He looks up to find that there's a lady panther standing right in front of him. And as he shook his head, this illusion was not going away. She was the real deal. According to this, if I had reimagined every woman as Journey Smallwood Belle, eventually it would have came true. Damn, missed an opportunity. She even leaves him a little Valentine's Day message of her own. Now here's the kicker. After fantasizing about his perfect woman all day, he was getting ready to say, no thanks. Until he looked at those glorious 3 words again and said to himself, why not? And then went to go join the woman of his dreams. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Furry Girl Profiles. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.
I'm late for a very important date. I'm late for a very important date.
Hey, Mr. Rabbit. Why are you so twitchy? Haven't you heard of Cadbury's Caramel? See, as the creamy tasting milk chocolate on the outside melts with a dreamy caramel on the inside. You just have to take everything really easy. Anyway, Mr. Rabbit, you must be as mad as a hatter to want to go to some silly old tea party. Take it easy with Cadbury's Caramel.
There is a hamburger side, and there is a tomato side. There is Pepe, and there is Mademoiselle. Ho, ho, ho. En garde, pigeon.
When those that are kept apart finally come together, it's not just good.
Meat is fantastic.
McDonald's new McDLT.
Welcome everyone to the cutest Elwood Girl elimination game. This will make our 6th elimination game, and today's theme features the cuties from the Offer TV series. It started out more like an experiment, but folks insisted that we keep it rolling, so here we are. Now, for those that are getting ready to ask me questions like where's Offer's mom, this one is a cute cup elimination game. Much like the previous version, it's specifically geared towards giving the younger characters a chance at winning. Let's not forget to mention that Offer has been around for 20 years. There's a lot of other appealing background characters not featured on this board. For example, there's this chocolate-colored bunny named Katie, who I regret not being able to add because she was a background character for only 1 episode. For this game, out of 12, I narrowed it down to the best looking and most recognizable characters. And when I say best looking, I mean Jenna was already disqualified, because that design was a mistake. That also applies to Egghead Emily too. Oh, trust me, I'm gonna be talking a lot of shit. Anywho, it's time to call out the names. DW, Sue Ellen, Marina, Muffy, Lydia, Fletcher, LaDonna, Prunella, Nadine, Francine, Fern, and Molly. Molly is the only veteran on this board. Everybody else has never been in a previous elimination game. Now, this will make the 4th time that our red-headed bunny has been featured. The first 2 times, unfortunately, wasn't that kind to her. In our first ever, which was the hottest bunny girl game, she got put out at 11th. Though granted, she was going up against a lot of heavy hitters. Then when we got to our very first Q Cup elimination game, she did even worse. That game became a whole feud, but it needed to be used as a learning lesson. Don't bully girls off the board for petty reasons. Then a few years ago, we had something called Miss Bunny Girl 2018, which was pretty much a remake of the hottest bunny girl elimination game, minus Cream the Rabbit and Panini. Now what made this a little different was, it wasn't just the channel voters participating, it was also the outside voters from Google+. Now, since Molly had such a rough time prior to this, I added an alternative option, Patricia Bunny, Lola Bunny's mother from the Looney Tunes show. It was a game of Tomboy versus MILF. If Molly could beat Patricia, she would get on the board. And well, I asked Google Plus who was the sexier looking rabbit. Out of 270 votes, Molly squashed Patricia. It was almost a complete burial, 73% to 27. Granted though, I had a hard time trying to find a better picture for Patricia. Google Images just suck. But this wasn't nothing but like 2 years ago. The voters knew who Patricia was. If they really wanted her to win, she would have won. Now you just know, some uppity fucker is gonna be like, but she's just a child. Or, maybe there's an alternative reason. Maybe people just like tomboys. Maybe people just like redheads. There's this thing in life called the gray area, ladies and gentlemen. We should try considering that first. Even though Miss Bunny Girl 2018 was a ladder style elimination game, Molly was still living her best life. She made it all the way to 5th. People have been ranking characters based on sexuality, personality, skills, etc. since forever. They don't stop at anthropomorphic animals. And that video is indeed still uploaded. You should try checking it out. But now we're here, and the time for talk is over. It's time to see who everybody voted as the best Arthur girl. When it's the first week, you can expect a lot of characters on the board to go untouched, especially when there's not a lot of voters to begin with. Sue Ellen, Muffy, Lydia, Fletcher, LaDonna, and Fern were those girls that were not touched, while DW and Nadine took a punch to the stomach, while Francine, Molly, and Marina only took lighter jabs. With 17 votes, it looks like Nadine is going bye-bye. I must say, there is something incredibly ironic about the actual imaginary character being put out before all the other imaginary characters. Well, farewell Nadine, you meat-wad looking ass. Dude, she got the circular head and tooth and everything. You know, if these girls were real, what we're doing would not be helping their self-esteem. I mean, you gotta make it to 10th place, that's where most power ratings start. And it looks as though Prunella won't even be getting that, as she got the highest vote count for the week with 16. And while she will be going bye-bye, DW is right behind her with an ominous 11. And for another week, the voters pay no attention to Fern, Fletcher, and Lydia. It looks like without Nadine on the board, Molly and Sue Ellen also shot up as well. We'll see how that affects week 3, but for now, say goodbye to Cleo Diller's alternate dimension two-legged cousin. They're both under PBS, it's gotta be canon! Week 3 means we're finally done with the drop-off slots and can finally start our top 10. So yeah, according to the numbers, DW escaped another week, while Sue Ellen is the one that lost. Really guys? Sue Ellen before DW? Really? I don't know about that, but okay. I guess the ass wasn't fat enough. For week 3, outside the small fake out, the numbers stayed pretty consistent. I guess there isn't much else to say besides Sue Ellen has been eliminated and move on. For this week there was a total of 32 voters. That's generally how it starts out. But just wait till more girls are off the board and more people start joining in. Then these numbers are going to start getting harsher. That's when you'll be able to start measuring a character's popularity based on how much people want to single target them or leave them alone. On the board for week 4 we had a total of 33 votes. On this week, they finally caught up to DW. So the voters were nice enough to let Bratty DW get to 9th place. That's interesting. You like DW, don't you, Squidward? Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got some viewers that like her irritating ass more than they want to admit to. Just go ahead and let it out, sir. While Fletcher and Fern begin to show chinks in the armor, the numbers still remain pretty stagnant. There also seems to be some sort of pattern with Marina. I guess whoever thought she was worthy of leaving early decided to cease fire for now. It's also not looking too good for Muffy, but will she escape persecution next week is the question. For now, say goodbye to Dora, Winifred, Reed as we move on to week 5. I don't know what Muffy did to earn that 26, but that 26 should be considered both child and animal abuse. You guys should be ashamed for what you did to Best Monkey. Shame! Muffy Crosswire, come on down. You're the first contestant on Catch a Beat Down. So, this is week 5, and there's a total of 43 votes on the board. I must ask a question to the new viewers that did not participate in the voting process with us. Based on where we are now, do you think you would be able to guess who the winner will be when this is all over? I must warn you, before you place your bets, things tend to go sideways the closer we get to the end. At this point, you're probably thinking, oh, Marina's so adorable and nobody's touched her for weeks, she can't possibly lose. And then you probably look over at Molly and think to yourself, there's no way in the world the biggest bully on the show is gonna get any further. Why not place your bets on LaDonna? She's not that bad looking either. What, you don't trust me? If you ain't confident now, let's see how you'll feel once we're on week 6. 2 little monkeys jumping on the bed. Muffy fell down and took Francine with her. But when you compare numbers, Muffy got a fractured skull while Francine got a bruise. It seems it was decided that anything monkey was not good enough to go past 7th and 8th place. So with 18 votes, this is where the sidewalk will end for Francine. I'm gonna move this one right along, but as I look around the board I don't see much change, but there is an ominous spike on Fern. If you were rooting for her, well, you might want to enjoy her while you can. There we go, now that's what I'm talking about. On week 7, it finally became a competition. Every girl this round outside of Fletcher has received some form of spike in the votes. Molly, 8, Marina, 2, Lydia, 6, Fletcher, 1, LaDonna, 16, and Fern gets stomped on with 24. The vote total on this week was 57, surpassing week 5. It was around this point I had to delay the game because I was having computer issues. It was like a good 5 months before we started up again. But like I said, folks wanted this to continue and here we are. Now giving the axe to Fern, who won't make it into the top 5. And now it's official. Molly, Marina, Lydia, Fletcher, and LaDonna are the top 5. I can say this is likely going to get exciting for some and depressing for others. And well, if you were cheering for Lydia, it's now depressing. Now for those that don't know, Lydia is actually somebody's original character that became canon. For her to make it to the top 5, that's actually pretty good. And while everybody else is getting an uptick, it's starting to look like deja vu with Molly. As we go on to week 9, Lydia will be rolling her ass off the board. 4 girls left, 3 more to go. Fletcher, 6. Marina, 30. Molly MacDonald, 8. And LaDonna, 15. Now I bet you there's somebody probably saying, hey yo, get the popcorn. It's the bottom 4. Jawbreaker fitting to cut somebody out soon. Actually, no. Whatever steam I did have, I let it out before the video. If you are a Marina fan and you didn't like the results, you gotta take it up with the people who voted. Not me though, I just counted up the votes. I was actually vouching for the sight deficient rabbit. I made sure that this was the girl everybody wanted to remove and extended the time to vote. I was thinking, if there was one girl on this board that could legit threaten Molly, it was Marina. In the end, folks didn't change their mind, so here we are. At least, she can't see this coming. And to think, we were almost so close to having an all-bunny brawl. You guys could have sacrificed the cat. She had 9 lives. Maybe. Well, with that devastating 23, she is definitely getting tossed out of the window now. Maybe she'll land on her feet. Okay, Jawbreaker, that's enough puns out of you, sir. As we scroll down to Molly and LaDonna, well, the gap between the two is not a good sign of things to come for LaDonna. As a matter of fact, there really ain't much else to do but to count down to the big winner. The final result is Southern Barbecue Rabbit, courtesy of LaDonna. Molly 8, LaDonna 46. On behalf of Playfur Cinema to the fans of Molly MacDonald, congratulations, she is your cutest Elwood Girl Elimination Game champion. Even though she doesn't do cute, but sometimes it's cuter when they don't want to be cute. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Remember, if you like today's video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe for future videos, and remember to hit that notification bell. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.
You know what? That mulled wine fragrance really puts me in the mood. For writing our cards. Mulled Wine by Airwick.
Skating ostriches?
Yeah, we're looking for breakfast. And we're starved.
Oh my! I can bring you to a most fruitiful stop. Just follow my nose.
It's such a cute nose.
The Kellogg's Fruit Loops. Orange, lemon, cherry, and lime. With brighter colors you'll flip over.
Fruit Loops, the bright part of this nutritious breakfast.
Fabulous colors. Speaking of fab, don't you think Sammy would look totally hot on these skates?
Well, I am known for my loops.
Follow your nose to a most colorful fruit taste.
Metalheads! How about a game of whack-a-bye?
This is not Lola Bunny. This is her descendant, Lexi Bunny. What happens when you merge the Looney Tunes with Teen Titans? You'll probably end up with 2005's Lunatics Unleashed. The story took place in 2772. The city planet of Acmetropolis was knocked completely off its axis when it was struck by a meteor. The impact created an energy wave that altered the citizens of Acmetropolis, giving them new abilities, 6 of which that were recruited by a gorgeous alien woman named Sadafia. Under Ace Bunny's leadership, they became the Lunatics.
She'll be whatever you want her to be. A glove? A choker? A cuddle walker?
Lexi Bunny, who was the only female member of the group who had a love for music and a fashion sense, was voiced by Jessica DeChico and was the second in command of the Lunatics. While not a whole great deal is known about Lexi's backstory, in episode 6 of The Comet Cometh, just before the meteor struck Acmetropolis, she was trying out to be a cheerleader, and Lexi proved herself to be good. As a matter of fact, she was too good, to the point the head cheerleader got jealous of her acrobatic skills.
I'm afraid you don't have what it takes.
Even with Lexi's hopes and dreams being snatched away from her, the meteorite will forever change her life regardless. Her main abilities would include super hearing, and her primary special attack, which was called Brain Blast. In episode Apocalypto, she also had a temporary power to control plants.
Did someone say video game?
A skill to add to her honorable mentions was how incredibly talented she was at video games. Once landing a planet in trouble, they were also good enough to save it. Out of the other 5 Lunatics, Ace Bunny and Danger Duck were the ones she interacted with most, seemingly Duck more so. This was because in many occasions in the series, Lexi and Duck were often paired up like a duo, and even developed a brother and sister type relationship.
Whoa, here comes your girlfriend.
Reminds me of some of the guys who keep calling you. Except the rocks have more personality.
Despite his conceited attitude, Lexi very much did listen to and admire Duck.
And I know I'll be as brave as you, Duck.
Dare to dream, Lexi. Dare to dream.
So much so, he's even able to talk her into sacrificing herself.
Thanks for your advice, Duck. You were right. It is better to sacrifice one than for all to perish.
Even though it was for his benefit and not for the team. In episode Creep in the Deep, he even proved to Lexi that she could break the limits of her powers.
My powers are different down here, so maybe your powers are different too.
Use your brain blast!
As for Ace, as much as we expect romance from the descendants of Bugs and Lola, In 26 episodes, there was very little hints, unless Lexi was good at hiding her feelings. The true hints only really came out whenever Ace was believed to be dead or badly injured, because he's always the first person she runs to, or is the first person to run by his side. I guess we'll never fully know until there's probably a reboot. This has been Furry Girl Profile's Lexi Bunny. If you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future videos. My name is Jawbreaker. Have a happy new year!
Non, je t'assure, t'es un mec bien. Le problème, c'est moi. J'aime le fun, glander avec mes copines. Je suis encore un peu immature. J'ai compris le message. Je suis pas assez bien pour toi. Je te mérite pas, voilà. Tu veux des gamins, alors que moi, je préfère regarder la télé et sortir en boîte.
Mais non, mais je m'en fous, je t'aime, j'ai envie de rester avec toi.
Oui, tu veux me faire plaisir, et j'apprécie. Mais j'ai très bien compris, je sais que tu vas me jeter, alors je préfère partir la première.
Je veux juste que tu comprennes.
Bon, arrête de faire l'enfant. Un peu de dignité, quand même.
Je veux juste que
et sois pas cruel, je vaux mieux que ça. Oh, le relou.
J'ai jamais rien fait, moi.
C'est qui le sexophore? Découvrez Oranginamis eau, sans sucre ajouté et sans aspartame.
After a long recess from the series, we jump back into 1984's Heathcliff. Our featured lady was a one-time appearance in the second half of the cartoon under the Cadillac Cats, during The Babysitters. She was a traveling circus lion without a specific name, so she's just considered Mother Lion. She was voice played by Marilyn Schreffler, who also provided the voice for Tammy, Roxy, and Dixie.
My baby!
Along the way, her vehicle hits a bump in the road, and her baby magically slips through the bars and bounces all the way to Riff Raff's house. The group becomes temporary babysitters, especially Riff Raff, who becomes substitute mother. While the baby drove the gang nuts through the night and continued to noticeably become inconsistent in size, eventually the mother lion will return to the junkyard in order to retrieve him. The only problem is that she couldn't see well in the dark. She ends up fishing out Hector, then Wordsworth, then eventually grabs Mungo and mistakes him for her baby. But it had to been no more than a few hours. What was going on in this episode? Hector and Wordsworth had to put an Amber Alert out on Mungo when they report to Riff Raff that the mother ran off with him thinking he was her child. They end up waiting till morning to take the baby back to the circus to exchange for Mungo. By morning, less than 24 hours, that same baby was now about the size of an average human. Cleo pulls up in a car and rescues the gang, where they end up driving off to the circus. Meanwhile, the mother lion began the process of teaching her supposed child Mungo of how to jump through flaming hoops, to his complete and utter dismay.
You have to, son. If you don't do tricks, you don't eat.
At this point, there was better lighting in the circus tent than there was in the junkyard, and she still couldn't tell her actual baby from Mungo. You would then have to draw the conclusion about her that she was an extremely ditzy character. When she turns her back to speak with the other lions, Mungo gets away from her, but it doesn't last long before she finds him again. The next scene, we saw the sheer size difference between them, as the lioness towered over him like a tree. In order to make things easier for him, she would then roleplay as the lion tamer, trying to teach him how to be intimidating for the audience, rewarding him with food, and still trying to get him to jump through the ring. Mungo is a rather lazy character, not even built for physical performance. But if nothing else, Mama Lion was very patient.
Now come on, baby. We're going to do this over and over till you get it right. Then you'll get your reward.
By the time Riff Raff and the gang pulled up to the circus tent, the show was just beginning. The Mama Lion must have made Mungo perform the trick so much he was hypnotized when the spotlight was on him. Shortly later, she saw her real baby from her cage. She would then take a look over at Mungo, then take a look at herself in the mirror, then take another look at her real baby, then examine herself in the mirror once more before she figured out who her real kid was. She would then bend the bars with super-like strength, then run to his rescue. The net catchers would come out from both ends and pursue both her and her son. They would reunite and sidestep their chasers. And so, the episode ends with a happy ending. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Furry Girl Profiles. Remember, if you liked today's video, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe for future content. My name is Jawbreaker, and I thank you for watching Playfur Cinema.